This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Hi, this is Dan Jurgens, and you are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
There's a thin line between heroism and madness.
Here the line fades to nothing at all.
This is a world of Capes and Lunatics.
And nothing is off limits.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Capes and Lunatics. I am Phil. Joining me as always, that mustache, the unstoppable mustache from New Jersey. It is
Charlie, the Professor Essa.
And coming to you from the wilds of Florida, it is Queen of the Armadillos.
Hey y'all, it's Lil Papa.
And there she is, our special guest.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Kat.
Hi, Kat.
Hello.
Nice to meet all you guys.
Nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you as well.
See, Charlie was just looking at your Kickstarter. See, he said he really likes the art.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's really beautiful. And I was actually just reading up on the Like Father, Like Daughter series, and that's a really interesting idea. So I'm kind of excited about this.
Thank
I can't
you.
wait to hear your thoughts on your project and anything else you want to talk about, because that's what we do here.
Of course.
All I gotta say is you're making my life more difficult, because I was gonna support my friend Will. You know Will Allred. I was like, I should support his Kickstarter for Christmas, and then I was looking at yours. I'm like, man, this is good too. I'm like, I think that's the
You
only.
can return my birthday gift and support the artists and the writers fellowship.
Sorry, Lilith. But no, that's what I was going to say. That's like the good thing, bad thing about it, I think, this year with the quarantine and everything. It's like so many people are starting projects and stuff. There's like so much good content out there right now, but it's like there's like so much to choose from.
Oh, there totally is. But luckily, me, Will, and my friend Brant, we're doing a crossover print, actually. So if you back up all three of them, you get the crossover print. And if you back it up digitally, so, you know, the cheaper form of it, you also get like a digitally signed print. Or if you back it up physically for all three, then you get the physical signed print. So at least you get some bang for your buck as well.
Oh, nice.
That's so neat.
So you're going to have a crossover of universes, or you're just doing a book, like an anthology?
So it's just a print, so it's just an art piece.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's just an art piece for that one. You never know in the future, but we really wanted to do
Never
something
know.
to hopefully bring backers together, and it's the artist for Last Ember who did the art, and it looks really cool. So it's my main character, Casey, and then we have Last Ember, and then Will's two main characters, and that's the crossover.
Oh, awesome. That sounds very cool.
Yeah,
And of course, Will's book is entirely about crossovers, so you never know what the future holds if you support all three, and especially Kat right now.
Yeah, exactly. You never know. But yeah, especially if you support all three, it's like then we know crossover future.
Exactly. So do you want to tell us a little bit about your project real quick?
Of course. So we have about 4 days left. It's until Wednesday, 11 a.m. We're filming on Friday, or recording on Friday. It's about a high school girl. Father left her, become a full-time superhero. Everyone in the world loves him, except for her. And then she inherits his abilities. And there's a lot of twists and turns that come along. In issue 5, this is an issue that already came out, but just to let you guys know what happens, we find out the villain of the story is actually Casey's mom. She works for the KGB. So
my goodness.
Yeah, so there's a lot of twists and turns there. And if you thought that was a big twist, our next issue has 2 really big twists that changes the book forever. So this is the penultimate issue to get to that issue.
Okay, so I really have to ask, because this is like my biggest question in this idea of the father. He has these superpowers. He's invulnerable, leaves his family to be invulnerable. Is this I have to leave my family because if I'm with my family, I have that attachment that my enemies will exploit? Obviously, he does not know that the enemy is within the whole time. Or is this just, I don't need to be a normal dad anymore. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
So it's it's the former one. It's the one where he says, I have this responsibility. I don't want to hurt my kid. I don't, at that time, don't want to hurt my wife. So I'm going to leave that all behind and kind of, it's like if Superman didn't have Clark Kent and he was just Superman. So he does that, but we find out in issue 6, which has also been released. So these are issues that are already out. So it's not really spoilers. We find out it was actually the mom who kind of kicked him out and gave an ultimatum, So she's like, either you quit and, not save people, or you could stay with this family. And she kind of knew what he was going to pick.
So, wow, man.
And you said the final goal was Wednesday?
Yes,
okay.
Wednesday at 11 a.m. Somehow that happened. But yeah, it is Wednesday.
Okay, that's good. I was going to say this podcast will go up on Monday morning, so.
Great.
So you guys have 3 days. 3 days to support this. So we find out how it ends. You're going to leave us on a cliffhanger, kids? Come on, you do not want to do that. You want to fully fund this thing so we can find out the resolution. And, of course, there'll probably be another cliffhanger at the end to get you to come back for more later. But that's how we get the crossover.
Exactly. Speaking of crossovers, we have this crossover print, but my next Kickstarter is with my friend Phil, who does Haunting. It's a ghost story book. We're actually doing an actual crossover one-shot, which is 40 pages, which we're going to officially reveal probably on Wednesday for me, and I know on Phil's side, he's going to try pushing some of his backers towards me. So he's going to announce it on his updates, I think, on Monday. But we're going to officially announce it on Wednesday that we're doing this crossover. And we got a really good artist, and we're going to show some concept art we have for that one. So if you like crossovers, we got an official crossover there in March.
Awesome.
So you have 2 Kickstarters. Wow.
Oh yeah, no, that's the indie biz. You got to do a lot of Kickstarters. So this one's obviously the only one I'm doing currently at this 30-day time period. But yeah, you keep releasing the Kickstarters to get more installments, and you want to see the series grow, which is I've been lucky enough to see the series grow since we're up to issue 7.
That is cool, and I'm just thinking, maybe if George R.R. Martin was working with a Kickstarter, you might actually have, some completed books by now.
I think so.
That's a real motivator. It's like, look, I'm going to write the next book, but only if you pay me. So buy the book now, I'll finish the book, and then we'll have a book,
Now they probably just hand him the money and say, oh, here, get it done whenever.
Yeah, exactly. It's too much coddling of the artists. Sorry. No, I was doing some reading on this. So you originally came up with this idea. This was a film school pitch, correct?
Yeah. So it was a screenplay that I wrote for college. I got my bachelor's degree, and I wrote it as a screenplay. And this was 5 years ago. And I was like, hey, I should make this a comic, because I've been doing comics for a very long time. I've been reviewing comics for about 10 years, and I've read comics since I was 5 years old. So I'm like, I really want to make this a comic, and I did. And obviously it's a superhero story, so it worked as a comic. And now again, here we are, issue 7, and the screenplay actually ends with issue 8. Things obviously changed 5 years down the line, but the main plot points have stayed the same. And there's actually only used to be one big twist, and now we have the 2 big twists. So that's the one changed as happened in issue 8. But yeah, we're leading to the screenplay, but it is an ongoing book, so it'll keep going after issue 8. It's just going to be a very different book after that.
So it's going to keep on going as long as we keep on buying.
Exactly.
So, that's the thing, and I think that honestly, I mean, here's what I'm gonna say. Right now, I have my pull list at my local comic store, and every week I know, okay, Marvel has these books, Dark Horse has these books. These are the books I want. These are the books I want. There were some DC books. There's not anymore. That's a whole other story. But, and that's this idea. Right now, we all have that kind of thing. We have this pull list. And I kind of feel like right now what Kickstarter is giving you is this opportunity to say, hey, you know what? These are the books you're going to buy. You're going to buy this book. You want to buy this book. You like this book. So let's keep on having an ongoing process so that we know the next book is coming.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it makes the backer involved, which is really cool.
So you already told us that that there were two basic changes. So basically, you had the original script.
Mm-hmm.
You have the script you've written. For the comic books, there are changes as time goes on because 5 years. Who doesn't rewrite their story in 5 years? Do you think that if you showed this comic book to yourself 5 years ago, you would be impressed? Or, like, so for example, if let's say someone bought your movie 5 years ago and they made it, and then this book came out about it, would you be like, oh, they've destroyed my work 5 years ago? Or would you like totally, oh, I see how that's a much better idea than what I originally had?
Yeah, no, much better idea. I feel like, I said this on a previous podcast I was doing for, promoting the Kickstarter. I feel like it, there's elements in the screenplay, like the mom, Jessica, who, she wasn't as fully fleshed out. Like, we had that villain moment. We found out she was a villain, and we didn't have enough time in the screenplay for her to have, like, this backstory and be like, this is why I did it, and, like, have time with her. And in the comic, we have a lot more time with her. Like, issue 6 originally was not going to be a Jessica-driven issue. It was just going to be Casey, having to try to save her dad, which actually moved into this issue, which is Casey having to save her dad. And also, like, the way I executed it is very different than what I did in that screenplay or even, original drafts of the comic. But, yeah, I think these characters, like, because I've lived with them longer, they're better. Like, they have a stronger voice. I would say the two characters that probably stayed a little bit the same, is Casey and Invulnerable, but I still think they've grown as well. And Casey's journey definitely changes in the end of issue 8 for sure. But yeah, just hearing these characters' voices has been really great.
Now, here's an interesting item. You decided to make Invulnerable the only superhuman in this universe, correct?
Mm-hmm, yes.
So, which I always find a very interesting concept when you have the lone superhuman. Because I'm always thinking, well, wouldn't other people want to have superhumans? How do you just get one superhuman? And along those, and obviously now we have two superhumans. Yeah. What is the idea in your mind when you think, I'm going to create a universe with just one superhuman?
I want to make my life complicated, I think. Yeah, I think the reason I really did it in the beginning and I, continue to do it and why I am happy I made that move, even if sometimes it makes it a little harder to come up with a really good villain to go up against someone who's invulnerable. But, this book has always been about the emotions. It's more about the characters. And that's really the route I wanted to go with this one. And it's like, what do they do when they're not superheroes? So that's kind of the driving force of it all.
And do you have I would say you probably have a different perspective, because I see, again, I know nothing about the business, but I was looking at your Twitter bio, and MFA in TV writing. What is that?
Yeah, I have a master's in TV writing. So it's like graduate school for TV writing. So I got my bachelor's and I have a minor in journalism. And then about a year later, I did a 2-year program to get a master's in fine arts in producing and writing television.
Does that help with the writing of the comics, or is it a completely different animal?
It's similar and different. With a movie, I felt like there wasn't enough space because you only have 90 pages to tell this really big. Or sometimes longer. But when you're writing, a movie script, you want to try to make it tight, at least in my opinion. So about 90 pages. To write one big story from Act 1, 2, and 3. And then a comic, it's kind of Act 1, 2, and 3 in only 22 pages. So you got very little time to tell it, but you could have as many issues as you want. And the budget's a lot smaller, actually, obviously. And then for a television show, I think you just have so much time because there's so many episodes and it's 60 pages for one episode. So, TV and comics, I would say they're probably the most similar because the serialization of it all. You have to have a cliffhanger. You have to grab people. So yeah, I think there's similarities and differences, but it helps. It definitely helps. I think any form of learning how to write helps, but they are different to write. Comics is very much you're the director, so you have to talk about like what is happening in a scene. You have to be very direct at this is happening in this panel. For TV, you could be like they look at each other, and then you kind of take the other people will handle the rest. Like, you don't have to be as descriptive in a TV script as a comic script.
And my other question, I see you write for Newsarama, IGN, and DC Universe.
Yeah, so I currently write for Newsarama and DC Universe. I have worked for IGN, Fandom, and TV Guide, which is pretty cool, but Twitter does not allow you to have enough room. But yeah, currently work for DC Universe and Newsarama on a frequent basis. And Newsarama, I have a set amount of articles I do for them, so that is the most consistent work you're going to see from me. And DC Universe, I also again do stuff for them as well, but they are transitioning into another platform. So
DC Universe, that's actually like the Warner AOL time.
Yeah.
Oh wow! So you do have an in.
Yeah, I mean it's. I've been working in the industry for a while, which is cool, and I've gotten to know a lot of people in the industry, which has been nice.
So, what are you reading? What books are you enjoying right now?
Oh man, so many. I feel like I have to go through company by company, because I also do YouTube. That's kind of how I started, and I still do it. So I do a weekly show called Best Comics of the Week, and I review my pull list pretty much. And I usually get around like 10 to 20 books a week. So, somewhere in that ballpark. My favorites. I think Boom has had a lot of good books this year. Seven Secrets. Love Red Mother. I think that's been a great book. What else has been out from Boom? I mean, Power Rangers stuff has been really good. Image has a lot of great books. Scumbag, Stillwater. I mean, all their other books that they've been doing, but I think they've had a lot of good issue ones. Family Tree is really good from Image Comics. DC, they are like transitioning their lines. It's a little harder to talk about.
Yeah.
But I really like Batman 3 Jokers. I really like what they're doing with Batman in general right now, even in the main line. I feel like that's been their main focus. Marvel, love Marvel. There's some of the books I really like are kind of on hiatus right now though, but I really like Valkyrie and Spider-Gwen, and I really like Power Pack, which is back. Runaways is kind of back. So there's a lot of good books everywhere, which is great.
Yeah. Valkyries is coming back.
It is with
one of the spin-offs of the new King in Black thing. We're getting a whole new Valkyries, new and old, coming to you.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm a fan of the artist. I was a fan of Heavy Vinyl / Hi-Fi Fight Club when it came out. So that's the artist who did that, and it's the same writers. So that's cool too.
Are you reading Black Widow by Kelly Thompson?
Oh yeah, so good.
Oh yeah.
I never liked Black Widow before I read this series. Like I would always read like a first issue and be like, that's not really for me. And then I read this, I'm like, Kelly Thompson does it again. So good. And really new reader friendly as well. Not that I don't know about Black Widow, but it's, very good jumping off point.
Anyone could read this, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say though, Black Widow just has the stupidest villains in this. Just like every turn, it's like,
they just
from the
want to take
menu
her down.
arcade. It's
That's true. That was their first misstep.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I just love the Kelly Thompson books. The Black Widow, Captain Marvel, Deadpool. Of course, Deadpool.
Sabrina.
Yeah, and even her past books, Hawkeye, West Coast Avengers,
Yes.
they're all good stuff.
That's where I discovered her on Hawkeye, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get the big comic creator question out of the way. We're going to open up the entire library of Marvel, DC, and even all the indies to you. And we're going to say, we want you to tell us what is the story you want to tell.
Oh my God, that's
From previously created work, not your own originals, because I'm sure you have 1,000 stories you want to tell for your originals. But what's the book that you said, you know what? If I could just tell this one story, my character's Boulder, so don't steal Boulder.
I was going to say it's probably going to be a Spider-Man or a Batman, because everyone, I swear, has a Spider-Man or Batman
For me,
story.
it's Spider-Girl. So I'm a really big Mayday Parker fan.
Yes!
Yeah. So Mayday Parker would
My
be
heart.
for me.
My heart.
Love
yes,
Mayday.
Yes.
MC2 was robbed.
She
man.
she needs a new ongoing book.
She really does,
Yes.
especially like in a modern setting, because like I feel like it'd be different and it'd be cool. I mean, it'd be a shame. I would hope they would hire Tom DeFalco because he's the only one who has really written her. I know we've seen sometimes sprinkles of other writers write her.
No.
Oh, come on, Tom's got to come back to write Spider-Girl.
Yeah, I would love to see a Tom DeFalco new Spider-Woman, because she is officially
That's
Spider-Woman
true.
now.
That's
She
true.
grew up with Spider-Uncle Ben. with
Yeah,
little baby
yeah.
Ben, now that Peter has died in her universe.
I don't know. I don't know if you could get that Spider-Woman title because Jessica Drew has a book again now. So
That's true. They could just call her Spider-Girl as a title and just call her Spider-Woman in the
That
comic.
girl lets it ride. She can do it.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And
Exactly.
you had the Ghost Spider situation. They still pretty much call her Spider-Woman in the book. So
yeah. Because it just seems weird. Because is it that I don't know if they don't want to confuse the branding, but it just seems like they don't have that many female-led titles at one time.
yeah, no, it's crazy. I hope we get to see more, and I would love to see a Mayday Parker book. And I do agree. I think we only saw very little of her grieving her dad, and we had like 5 pages stories to tell that. And I think there's definitely a whole narrative to just talk about her grieving and what type of hero is she when. She was a legacy character, and the legacy is now all on her. Like, her dad's not around anymore. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see a MC2 universe book. We'll focus on Spider-Woman. That way we don't have to call it Spider-Woman. We'll call it MC2.
Yeah.
And then it's just her interacting with the next group of Avengers, J2, and the whole group. And, and all of... Oh, MC2 team-up.
Yeah, I would love that. Cassie, like, not to confuse, I know Stinger is Stinger in the regular universe now, but she also is Stinger in the MC2s. I love to see that.
Yeah, just an oversized book a couple stories, every month.
Yeah, why not?
That'd be great.
Even a digital book, I wouldn't mind. Even if it was exclusively digital, that's fine.
I have my Marvel Unlimited subscription, so I'm down with digital books now.
They did that so way back in the day, like, I don't know, like 10 years ago. They did a digital exclusive for Spider-Girl, but that was like right when Marvel Unlimited was happening, and I think you had to have a Marvel Unlimited account to read the books. And then they did and eventually put it in print. It was like digitally exclusive. I think it was before it would have worked.
Yeah, I mean, they can always do what they do sometimes, put it out digitally and then collect it in print.
Exactly. I know DC's kind of taken that route with a lot of their books now.
Oh, yeah, because I know I've talked to Ron Friends a couple times. He said, like, some of those original Spider-Girls, they've, like, collected those, and, like, they would, like, they would sell those through the Scholastic. Like, the schools would get them for, like, their book fairs and stuff. So, I mean... Yeah,
they were small digests. Yeah. Ironically, they've never collected the whole series. Mm-mm. They've, like, keep trying. They never actually collected I think they only got up to 1 to 50, and then 50 to 100 is not collected.
I mean, there's some good stuff in that second half.
Yeah, good stuff. Oh, yeah, especially the second half. It just, like, not that it didn't have its legs before, but it really got its legs. It got all 8 legs when it went into the other stuff. There was like some Venom stuff going on. It was good.
Oh yeah. There's good stuff out now. Are you reading Daredevil at all?
I just started this issue.
Oh, that's right. I did see your Twitter. Is that your pick of the week? Yes.
Yeah, I literally started this issue, and I read some of the first story arc, and I just didn't have a chance to finish it all. I heard what happened in this issue, and I was like, oh, okay, I gotta read this. And I did, and I really liked it.
What I don't understand is, like, I'm seeing, like, oh, yeah, people are selling this issue online. I think last I saw it was going for, like, $100. I'm like, why? I'm like, it's a cool story, but I'm just like, people get...
New status quo.
Heroes get replaced all the time, though. It's like...
No, it's crazy. But, I mean, the next Jane Foster, right? And Jane Foster has a movie, and they're like, you never know what's going to happen in media, and it's a spec book.
Yeah, I mean, it's... I fully endorse the idea. I like the idea of a new Daredevil. I guess my biggest issue is it's not like Daredevil's out of the picture. He's in jail.
That's true.
But but literally, it's like he's in jail because he wants to be in jail. We know he couldn't just leave tomorrow. It's sort of like, if you ever watched Hancock, one of my favorite superhero films. Don't at me.
Oh, I love Hancock.
Where he just, at one point he just jumps out of the prison, gets the ball, and comes back because I'm here because I want to be here. It's not because you actually can keep me here. It's like every time you prison Dr. Doom, it's like, I'm going to go and be in the prison. That's fine. I feel that this is a learning exercise. Like, what's his name? Casanova once said every man should go to prison for at least 2 years because it builds character.
I mean, isn't that what all of Orange is the New Black is about?
Exactly.
I'm excited to see what they do with it because I liked the thematics that they did in this issue. It's like, oh, okay, that's why you're doing it. And I thought it was like a really good character-driven story for both Elektra and Daredevil. So, yeah, I'm really curious to see where it ends up going. And, if that price goes up or down, I guess, to see how successful it's going to be.
Oh, I think it's going to be successful. I mean, I think Chip's been killing it since issue 1. I mean,
he has been, yeah. At least from what I've heard throughout, and that's why I picked up issue 1. I'm like, oh, I should read this, and then again, lost time, and glad this was a jumping on point.
Oh yeah. Okay, so you have an in at DC. Have you any tidbits you can drop for us for Endless Winter?
Oh, Endless Winter. The only thing I can say is that I did an interview for Endless Winter with the creative teams. You go check that out. Oh. They said it's going to be a little bit more, not a filler event, but it's not going to be as connected because of what's going on with Future State. The stuff that's going to happen, Black Adam is going to be really affected in 2021. So if you like Black Adam, that's going to be the character that's probably going to be affected the most in Endless Winter. So that's the big Endless Winter news. And then we got a lot of Future State stuff coming up. Now, I just did an interview with the creative team of, at least the writer of Harley Quinn, the Future State stuff. Oh. And a lot of things are dropping. And it seems like a lot of these creative teams are going to be the ongoing book team. So I have a feeling maybe the same will be for Harley, just from, what was said there. I have no inside information on that, just piecing the stuff together. And same thing for like Batgirls and stuff like that.
So wait, Harley's has a Future State book?
Yeah, she has a 2-issue Future State book.
Is it Old Lady Harley? Because I love the Old Lady Harley books.
It's I think it's only a couple of years in the future, so I don't think it's Old Lady Harley, sadly.
That's too bad. That was a great book.
But so is Endless Winter going to keep going after Future State? Is it just like going on?
It ends in December, so it's just the 9 issues, and that creative team wrote all 9 issues. But it's only for this month.
So you did mean this December? I was
going
to say, it's already December. How could it end December?
It just starts now and ends now.
Nice. And then, Future State is January and February. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, I'm sure it'll be fantastic. Like everything DC produces.
Oh, wait a second. So I heard you say Batgirls. So are we getting a Batgirls plural book?
Again, I have no inside information.
Sure.
No, I don't. I swear.
Philip, do not make people get in trouble legally, okay? These are very litigious organizations.
I could honestly say I really do not have any info. Just from what I have seen, I've written about, I think that's the direction they're going. This is just like my personal point of view. I can say I think that's the direction they're definitely going. Because we just got the Wonder Girls comic. We have a Teen Titans comic. They're all written from the same creative teams. And, I would say we're going to get that Batgirls announcement probably by, a couple of days because they've been doing it pretty rapidly right now.
Yeah,
so.
I can see that because Sandra's back in her Batgirl suit. They even have like a bat on Stephanie Brown's chest. Yeah, I can see it. So, is Barbara going to be half the time Oracle or half the time Batgirl, or is she taking that chair back full time?
See, that's the question. I really don't know. I just did an article for that on Newsarama, and that was the thing. I think it's going to be evident that Stephanie and Cassandra are going to be Batgirl in some way. I don't know if they'll take the name, but they'll probably have like a Batgirls team, which is great because I am a very, very big fan of Stephanie Brown, and I'm a very huge fan of her. And I love Cassandra as well, and I love Barbara. I'm also a very big Barbara. I'm a big fan of all three of them, but like Stephanie is like my number one. I love that girl. So I think if DC was smart, they would do half and half, because then writers would have a chance to do whatever they want. If they want to write a Batgirl story, they can write a Batgirl story, and then another writer wants to write an Oracle story, they can, and it makes sense in continuity.
Definitely.
Now, just out of curiosity, because I don't read these books, and obviously I should be.
He's a big Marvel man.
Yeah,
I love Marvel too. I love both companies. So
I actually love DC too. I have a hard time getting into their books sometimes. Probably because I just don't have the canon in my head the way I do with Marvel.
Yeah.
But so is Barbara Was Barbara injured recently?
No.
Because you said,
No,
is she back? Okay, so it's just, does she make the conscious choice? I'm more effective.
She's been
as
behind.
That's exactly what happens, yeah.
Like in Joker War, she was a little more behind the keyboard again, so it's like...
And, well, you know, that's sort of one of the things I loved about Batman Beyond, and just to give my nerdiness for when I was a young man and watching children's cartoons that were way too young for a man my age. I loved when she's Commissioner Gordon as Barbara Gordon, and she's like, look, we don't need vigilantes. You know, where she has really turned the corner on this whole, this is a bad way of doing things. We need to do things the right way. And I always like that. And I like the idea of Barbara Gordon in that it's sort of splitting the difference in that Oracle persona of the person who is, you know, doing the research and, you know, connecting the dots and being that person. And if nothing else, it also opens up the door for eventually a Gus Gorman villain for her. Gus Gorman versus Oracle. This is my dream.
He has an unhealthy obsession with Superman 3.
All right. It's
Gus Gorman is the best supervillain ever created by DC, and they won't use him. It's very sad.
No, they got Phantasm showing up in Batman and Catwoman.
Yes!
You never know.
Yes!
Phantasm was classic. The Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh yeah, I'm like
ruined by the first major project to be ruined by the toy.
Still, I think it's a good movie. And yeah, the toys. What can you do?
I think
yeah.
I think that's probably my favorite Batman movie, live action, animated. I don't care. I think that's my favorite Batman movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very good. It's good stuff.
I mean, you get your action, you get your detective Batman, which all good Batman projects should have.
And very new story for them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think if Dick Tracy got ruined by the toy too, if the Blink action figure
the spoilers
also revealed the secret ending. Because no, the novelization didn't.
Okay, see, that's usually the one that, they are usually the ones to spoil it. I feel like they've been a little better in maybe the last year or two, but still.
Well, I was going to say,
they're looking for it.
Like back when Phantasm came out, I don't think they were, they didn't think people were paying that close attention. Now they know people are paying attention, especially with the internet.
For sure.
Yeah.
People can piece it together very easily.
Yes. Just like Oracle, that's the thing. It all comes together. Oracle is that comic nerd who is there doing the research, saying, this connects to this, and this is the thing to that, and that's how this all pieces together.
She finds all the spoilers.
Exactly.
And that's why Stephanie Brown became part of the team. She literally found all the spoilers.
Yes. Because that was her character spoiler, if I recall correctly.
Yes,
correct?
She is that is her name, is Spoiler.
Which is a great name for a supervillain in this current era that will eventually become... Why do they call her Spoiler? I don't understand the reference there.
Yeah, well, luckily she is a hero, and she wanted to spoil her dad's plans, and that she wasn't very unique when it came to naming herself, but she tried, and that's why we love Stephanie Brown, is that she doesn't do anything like too correctly, but her mistakes allows her to be a good hero.
Yes. And to be fair, it's not like the Riddler is that deep of a character name. I'm the Riddler. I'm the Joker. I'm the Penguin. Why? Well, because I'm kind of short and fat.
I just don't think...
Well, he got with Starfire, and they have a kid now, so there's a thing.
Oh, what?
What? Penguin got with Starfire?
It's a I didn't know Penguin was involved, but they have a OGN. They have a graphic novel for the YA line that's Starfire as a kid. So it's not like in continuity, but...
No, I'm really excited about that book, actually.
Me too.
I'm reading it. It's like, oh my gosh, that is like a cool story.
It's a crazy concept in a good way. It's a really cool concept.
Well, it's like being this child of any celebrity, and this idea that it's like and ironic, interestingly enough, you can put it into that context of people like Prince William and Prince Harry and their mom and all the stuff that has been just everybody's fodder in the tabloids for years, and now they have to deal with it. And it's no wonder that him and Meghan just said, I'm going home.
All right, so All right, let's get Kat's opinion on some of this stuff. The big Warner Brothers announcement, what was that, yesterday? That all their movies in 2021 are going to be streaming same day on HBO Max when they go in theaters.
Yeah. I think it's a smart move just because no one's going to theaters. I know theaters are upset about it. But, no one saw Tenet, and that they tried it out, and it didn't work, and it really didn't work in their favor. So why sit on Wonder Woman? Why not just get some cash now? Yeah. And, we knew about Wonder Woman, but then, Tom and Jerry and these other movies, Dune and Suicide Squad, I know I'll be sitting down and right when it gets released and watching it, and I could not say the same about if it was released in movie theaters.
I mean, I keep saying they're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't, because it's like, if they do it like they're doing now, the theaters are mad, but if they put it, if they don't stream it, people are going to be like, oh, they don't care about people's safety, and I'm sure no one wants the headlines, Wonder Woman 84 cause a big outbreak,
outbreak, or again empty seats. Like they're nothing good's happening if it's just in theaters. And I'm very happy, and especially Christmas, it's gonna do so well. Families are at home, especially now because they're not going anywhere.
99% of the world's off. Yeah.
I mean, what I really think that this is one of the weird spots where the chaos that we imagine is in the Warner's DC universe kind of works in DC's favor. Because of that chaos, people are going to say, you know what? Heck with it. Let's just put it all on HBO Max. We're going to get people to subscribe. Because right now we're putting all of our content there. Everyone who wants our content is going to go there. Because, I even had a friend who was resisting HBO Max until they made this announcement. And they're like, well, now I gotta. Now I gotta go over there. I gotta do it. In the same way that I was with Disney Plus. And to be fair, I've been waiting for one Marvel thing on Disney Plus this entire time. I'm just like a kid waiting. And HBO's like, yeah, no, it's all coming. It's all coming. Don't worry. It'll be here. We already have it in the can. We just haven't been releasing it because we don't care. Because we didn't want to hurt the theaters. But now we just decided, you know what? Enough people at the company, someone signed off on it, that's all we care about, it's going out. And now we're there. And now Disney has to respond. And Disney is, in its own way, a more staid and structured company. And they have to make this decision. Okay, do we go with it? Do we ride the wave of the chaos like Warner's is doing?
I definitely think they should with Black Widow, because they're, people want to see this movie. I'm sure it's going to be a great movie, but when they need to get to the next step, so let's just.
And the toys are coming out. Yeah, whether you want them to or not, the toys are coming out. They're like, we held these as long as we could, man.
Open that floodgate, let all the other movies and properties out. And again, it's like if they don't do it, people are going to be like, oh, don't they care? At least Warner Brothers is giving you the option.
Well, they could do same day release.
Well, that's what
they're doing, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, which still screws over the theaters, but you know what? Sorry, theaters.
Well, let's give people a choice.
Sorry, you're a plague bastion.
But if you give the people a choice, again, is it Disney or Warner's fault, or is it? It's like the people can choose. The people can choose to go to the theater.
Yeah. Well, I'll say that, and Grace Randolph years ago said, I would love it if you go to that theater and it's just like 10 people in the theater, and it's just
now you can.
A big screen with a big chair, and we're all there. This was before any of this, and she was like, that is a nice viewing experience. I get the big screen, but it's not a big crowded theater. It's not a bunch of people crowding in. It's just, and you can do a smaller screen and make it big if it's closer up, as I always say. And so, you could do that theater that is, instead of a 13-plex, it's like a 26-plex, but it's just, okay, yeah, all you guys are going into this theater, all you guys are going into this theater, and it's this structured style, but of course, that's a much higher overhead for the theaters, but if they had done that, they would be fine right now, so.
Yeah.
Sometimes the prophets are always mocked in their time.
We'll see what movies look like after this, and if they could make those profits.
Exactly. Oh, profits and profits. That's how it goes. As the Ferengi told us.
I just figured from now on, these companies are all going to be making projects and thinking, you know what, if we where they can't just stream it. So it's like, well, if we can't get into the theaters, we can make it just stream it, or I wonder if they're looking more TV shows now. It seems like there's more and more TV shows being announced.
They're doing it with a few movies too. Like you have, at least from my knowledge, like Prom, which is a Ryan Murphy like musical thing that definitely would have been in theaters maybe 5 years ago. And they're like, no, let's make it a Netflix show because he has that overall deal. Happiest Seasons was supposed to be a theater movie, but it did really well on Hulu, and I have a feeling Hulu will probably do even more stuff like that. So I definitely think we're going to get a lot more direct. I mean, we had it with Roma, which won the Oscar. Well, at least was nominated for the Oscar. I think it won as well. You're definitely getting more movies like that for sure.
Yeah. I think it won for foreign language.
Yeah, there you go. It won some Oscar.
Yeah, it's a good film. So that's how you do it. You make a good film, and and once they said, we don't care where you put it, because we need people to watch our show. That's what essentially the Academy Awards said. Sort of like with the Tonys. Eventually, Tonys are going to say, you know what? This high school play did a really good job.
Well, let's all
talk about best high school play this year.
It might end up that way because there's no Broadway until I think at least a year from now. So
yeah.
I wonder if
although again, you could pull off those black box theaters. You could pull off those 2-man shows,
but they got to spend like $300 for that theater to make a profit, like at all.
Yeah,
What do you think they? I mean, I'm not a big Broadway person, but could they like stream shows so people could watch it on the internet?
Well, Hamilton.
I was going to say
did
Hamilton
it for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It would definitely make it more accessible to people that don't live in the big box areas.
True.
Well, yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So
I mean,
we won't have to live on the black market of plays and whatnot. I don't know if y'all know about that, but it's a thing.
I'm sure it is. Yeah. I mean, I live in New York, so I feel like there is you like liveness, right? There is an idea of liveness that you can't repeat, and that's like what Broadway is, and I wouldn't want to take that away, but yeah, doing both. Like Hamilton's still on stage, like not the second, but it will be on stage when Broadway returns. That experience doesn't change, but like Lilith was saying, you could have it on Disney Plus as well, because even with the tours, they're not going to really small towns. They're going like Chicago, or they're going to Los Angeles. So I sound like a very big Broadway expert. I'm really not, but I guess just from New York, you pick up enough about Broadway.
Trust me, I understand. I'm from Newark, I'm not from Newark. I live in Newark, and I've been to one Broadway show. But I've been to a lot of black box theaters on the East Coast because I love small venues,
They're good. They're great.
I love small venues because, I think that there's an intimacy that you get there that, again, you don't get in a big club, that I think is going to be the salvation of that live performance in the long run. That people who want that kind of small theater experience, people who just want to see someone go up and do something. Hey, look at me, I'm a guy. And, you're going to pay to have that 10-person back of the Otto Shrunken Head theater experience with 10 of your best friends. And I think that's a future that we may one day see. Which I embrace, because I was doing that back before it was cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if any of these different businesses are permanently going to change, but I'm pretty sure all these businesses are going to have to adapt. Well, they're going to have backup plans if nothing else. Lilith, you're awake.
Of course I am.
She's always here.
So much fun.
She's waiting for us to have a moment where we have nothing to say, and then she will jump in. And fortunately, with Kat here,
Lunatics,
who is so ebullient. There's nothing for Lilith to do. She can wait. She can rest. She can keep her powder dry with Kat here.
You want to throw out a topic?
Next week, Lilith, you're on deck. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. You guys are doing so great. No worries. It's just, it's good to have a person, an artist, and on the show. It's great, especially since you're on Kickstarter. We're all about the small indie people here. So it's just great to have you.
Thank you.
Kat, do you want to do Comics Corner with us?
Comics Corner? Well,
yes.
Yeah, sure. Go for it. Let's do it.
Phil, do the Comics Corner.
Phil's Comics Corner.
Well, I think we kind of already started. We were talking about Black Widow and
Well, we were talking about
Daredevil.
Black Widow.
Who's the stage manager here? Wait a freaking second.
I'm just saying,
Somebody's
we know
wearing
that's
pants
what we
today.
do at the end of the show. It's getting near the end of the show. And do you have a book that you want to tell everyone, aside from your own book, which you've already said
Yeah, we
everyone
already
should
talked about that
go,
one.
go do, and the other books in the group. What's a book you read this week that you loved that you want to talk about?
Daredevil was my one, so I'm gonna have to pick something else. Try and remember what my second pick was this week. Black Widow was really good. I'm trying to think of what other books came out. I have my iPad right next to me where I list which books are my favorite. So let me see. They all kind of bleed in together sometimes.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
For sure. Let's see.
Well, I know you said you liked Batman Catwoman #1.
See, I didn't like Batman Catwoman #1.
Well, you can also rip on it here if you want to.
Yeah, no, I don't want to spread hate. Firepower was my #2, so Firepower.
Oh, Firepower.
Yeah, really like
here's
Firepower.
this thing. I have been seeing Firepower everywhere. I got the comic book day Firepower. I still haven't read it. Tell me, why must I love Firepower?
Oh man, the pacing's really good. We get a very good family story, and sometimes I feel like Robert Kirkman does very similar stories, but this one feels really different. And it bleeds into the past of his temple days of being a martial artist, and we're also seeing like why he left and what that whole culture was about as he's living this very suburban life, and his family is very quickly sucked into this martial arts life.
Oh, cool. So
Yeah.
this is your Fred 2 story, to give a deep dive from G.I. Joe, the guy who has that perfect suburban life, but secretly he is actually a member of the elite guard of Cobra.
It definitely similar vibe.
Very few people who read G.I. Joe in the 1980s, like me, know what I'm talking about when I talk about Fred 2. Fred 2 is one of my iconic characters because he's actually not Fred 2. He was just a person made to be Fred by Cobra to move into that spot. But so every time I see anything that reminds me of Fred 2, it goes, oh, I saw that when Larry Hama wrote it. But and that's not to take away from Firepower. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to say, oh, they're copying. I'm saying that great artists do rhyme. And so I had no idea there was a whole temple involved.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw Firepower. I'm thinking, oh, it's some kind of superhero. So this is like So can you tell me a little bit about Firepower here, so that I'm like, because now I'm like, oh, wow, that's interesting. Interesting that there's a temple and a group that he was a part of, and now he's not. What's the story there?
Well, that's kind of what we're piecing together. Is that we get to see the prelude that what he did there. We don't really know why he left, and we don't know what really happened to this group. But there's the villains of that group, and also the group itself attacking him. And you're trying to his old sensei's coming back, who really just likes wearing sneakers. And that's kind of the story. Is we're unraveling what happened in between all there, and what everyone's allegiances are.
Ooh, that sounds very interesting. I'm going to have to read some Firepower now.
Oh yeah, it's really quick. It's a great book, great art. Chris Samney. Good stuff. So speaking of Daredevil, he did the great Daredevil run with Mark Waid. So.
Oh yeah. I think you just sold me just from the art.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to toss out a weird book that I picked up this week from Marvel, because I always buy any book that has to do with the United Kingdom, even though I despise the United Kingdom.
That's at Charlie Esser, people.
Look, man, we bow to no earthly king.
The views expressed by Charlie Esser are not necessarily the...
That's what the Irish-American sprinters said when they were doing the procession at the London Olympics, and as they passed every other country, as they passed the procession, they dipped the flag, and the Irish-American track team said, "Do not dip that flag when you go past the king." And when they said, "Why didn't you do it?" the leader of the group said, that flag dips for no earthly king. And so, but I still love everything that takes place in the UK because I'm a big Doctor Who fan. And I do want to call out the Union #1, which is a great book filled with characters you've never heard of, but still you might want to read. Because books like this are the kind of things where you'll get that breakout star that makes you go, oh, that's kind of cool. And
so there's a bunch of
cover.
So it's a bunch of brand new characters in there?
I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe some of them have been around. Britannia is essentially like a Superwoman character who seems like a Captain Britain-style character. I've never heard of her before, but maybe she exists. I originally picked this up because, I said maybe Excalibur's in here, who is a character I love. But she's not. She didn't make the cut. And it seems because, essentially, this is meant to be like the corporatized storyline characters. You have a new Union Jack, which is also kind of cool because there's so much like weird little side stuff about him. How he doesn't, like, how long has he been Union? They say he's the first working class Union Jack, but at the same time he says, I've always been Union Jack, but it feels like it's new every time. So I get the feeling that's either Captain Midlands for those deep dive British superhero fans who has been brainwashed to be the new Union Jack, or it's a clone of some kind of character. Anyway, he goes into his own thing. He clearly has a relationship with Britannia. They get, you have a character who goes by the name of Kelpie, because it's supposed to be like someone's from every group. And you have the choir, who's clearly meant to be a banshee, Kelpie, who has water powers, but she says she's not a Kelpie, she's just a demon. And then you have this other character called Snakes, who we see nothing yet except that he's big and scary. And so spoilers for the episode, so jump ahead if you don't want to know it. But clearly the final scene has them being attacked by a dragon. Britannia goes to chop off the dragon's head, does that, but also gets attacked by the dragon. But then we realize, that's no dragon. That's a symbiote, and all the soldiers have been possessed by symbiotes. So I'm excited about the Union. I always find that whenever they do one of these big crossover events like the King in Black, that there's going to be some small little dumb idea that someone threw out, like, what's going on in England at this time? So, why don't you do a story for that? And they said, okay, and our artists and writers on this are... Oh, wait, there it was. Passed right by, okay. We got, nope, that's not the credits page. Oh, man, is this one of the ones where they put the credits page at the back?
Oh, that's always the worst, yeah. Like, where is this?
There we go, page? Okay. Paul Grist is the writer. Grist for the Mail. Pencils by Andrea DeVito, with Paul Grist also doing pencils. Ooh, I always love that. Drew Garachi LeBeau Underwood with Paul Grist again doing inks, and Nolan Woodward got their colorist, and VC's Travis Lanham. I don't know what that means, but they're doing the letters. I also love that it starts with a cartoon of like the Britannia cartoon. Oh no, we've been undone by Britannia's superpowers. So that's a fun little connection. But yeah, the Union, pick it up. Lilith, what's a book from you?
Yeah, Lilith.
I'm trying to decide, do I want to say the title of this book or not? It's the S-Word Show #1 from Scout Comics.
Fair enough.
Scout's great. I haven't heard
Nobody
of it.
Tell Rob.
we have a guest, so I didn't drop the S-bomb. So the writer is Adam Bernhardt, and the artist is Samir Samal. And like I said, it's from Scout Comics, and it's kind of like Conan. It's kind of like Savage Avengers kind of version of Conan, where he's in the modern day, but he's like olden times. So it's a lot of drinking, boozing in the modern times, and lamenting how you just can't kill the way you want to. So it might be something right up Charlie Yester's alley.
Huge Conan fan, yes.
I do love my Conan, especially Conan in the 21st century now.
Yeah, exactly. We've been here for a while, but it's okay, Charlie.
So that was
so I just want to shout out Scout Comics. Y'all know I love Scout Comics, and I also have a book from Aftershock Comics as well. It's called Knock 'Em Dead. I don't know, it's just something about this artwork that gave me Tales from the Crypt vibes that I really like. It's kind of that dry, dark humor too. It's about a guy who wants to be a comedian, and how his sister kind of heckles him, and they get into some weird supernatural situation, and comedy and tragedy ensues, and we'll see where it goes.
And then she dunks him in chemicals.
Knock him dead.
Then she dunks him in chemicals, right?
You never know. You never know. But yeah,
That's
the artwork just
finale.
really pulled me in. So the cover's very like visceral. It's got like a skeleton with like at like a comedy club. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pick this up.
Oh, that one! Yes, I was debating getting that. Oh no,
I think you'd like it too. It seems like it's going to be very, very character driven. So if you like stories and like very, if you have an older sister or older sibling, you can probably relate to the story a lot.
Yeah. So we'll get that next week again, and we'll talk some more.
Okay.
And everything else is Marvel.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Oh,
Spider-Man.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say.
Miles Morales is out. In case
Well,
you didn't
yeah.
know.
Oh yeah, Miles is good. But did anyone read King in Black #1?
Yes,
I read
did.
it. Yeah.
Oh, you did read it, Charlie?
Yeah, and Kat did too. Pay attention.
No. But I just wanted to make sure that you saw the Sentry.
Better than Endless Winter. I guess that's the crossover.
Let me say this about the Sentry. Let me say, and we're not going to badmouth Endless Winter right now, okay? This girl works for these people. This woman works for these people. We don't want to create any tension.
I'm allowed to criticize the.
I'm
also
King
a
in Black
critic.
is better.
That's how I
enough.
was going to put it. I like them both, but yeah, I thought King in Black was better. Yeah.
What I'm going to say about the Sentry. So essentially, big spoilers for this issue. Sentry gets dwarfed.
Karma.
Well, and fair enough, but here's what I'm going to say. It's not like that's the first time Sentry gets dwarfed. It's not like and it's kind of like when Captain Universe Spider-Man gets dwarfed by the father of Morlun.
Yeah.
There is this quality to it where, oh yeah, everything he says, this is why this makes sense. And we may get a redemption arc for the Sentry later or something, or this is just one more moment to wharf it and then just... No, we're not going to... We don't like to talk about that character anyway, because, our universe doesn't work well with a Superman. That's why it's two different universes. But, yeah, no, I enjoyed King in Black. I'm really excited about... I'm both excited and confused by Eddie Brock. Just because I don't follow Eddie Brock, and I'm sorry, Flash Thompson is my Venom. So it's like, and yes, I know you like both, Tristan. Tristan's my son, and he's a big Venom fan.
Symbiote in general.
I was going to say, if it has a symbiote, yeah, Tristan's a fan.
Yeah. No, my problem with Eddie Brock is just that I feel that, I know Eddie Brock is popular. I know Venom was always popular. I don't want to say, like, Eddie Brock came back because Flash Thompson was Venom and made Venom a respectable character, finally. But I want to say that Flash Thompson made Venom a respectable character that allowed Eddie Brock to come back. Because the last we saw him before this was as freaking anti-Venom on the Revengers under reconstituted Insane Wonder Man. And so... I do want to say, I like what they're doing with Eddie Brock. He seems much more stable now. He has a kid, and that's good. And clearly it's that, his kid has the connection to the King in Black. He is the symbiote messiah, if you will. And I like that. I like where they're going with the story. I like how they set it up that, we're all doomed now in the first issue. So clearly there's no reason to read the second.
Although I must say, I haven't been checking in with Venom recently. I think 25 was the last one I got. I think this one, it's piquing my interest. I might have to pick up Venom again.
Yeah, honestly.
Got another one!
Yeah,
They
accomplished their mission, yes.
I'm going to say this. I was all down to just say, King in Black, what's the thing to read on that? But between the Union and the actual King in Black #1, I'm like, this is actually kind of interesting.
Well, hey, did you see the one shots, the list in the back? There's going to be an Immortal Hulk one. We
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
For sure.
There's a Black
There's
Cat.
some good tie-ins.
Black Cat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
Justice for Black
we're going to get Black Cat at this point. So, yeah.
Oh, we love that series. Yeah.
That's such a good series. Of all the books to cancel, that's like, why?
Well, I think
I've been pitching.
Transition. Yeah.
Lady team up book.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know,
That'd be
and to be fair, to tie it all back into that, whatever Endless Winter thing is, that's what's killing my DC book, is I loved JLA Dark. I am the biggest supporter of JLA Dark. I love Man-Bat. Man-Bat is my spirit animal, if you will. Or my fursona, if we don't want to be whatever. But I love Man-Bat, and it's so cool. And now JLA Dark, that's the last issue, because now we're going to Endless Winter, which is now only a 1-month event.
They did announce that there's going to be more Justly Dark in March, so they're continuing it after Future State. I liked King and Blackmore and Endless Winter as well. But at the same time, I also thought it was a kind of by the numbers event, because it is just like, okay, we're fighting this big threat. The big threat is going to destroy the world.
But don't you feel like they need to get back to basics with that? I feel like they've been just kind of focusing on like other multiverse threats and things like that. I think this is going to bring everything back down to basics is maybe the idea.
We just got it with War of the Realms. We just got, Empire was a similar thing. So it's just like even though we have, but the thing is, I like that Venom was the personal connection. Like, I haven't been reading Venom, but I know what's pretty much going on in it. And I was like, oh, that was kind of cool that he made it more personal.
Exactly. And along those lines, just the idea that, the symbiotes have been fighting the Celestials for centuries, and that is this whole other level to it. That I kind of feel like,
it gives me Futurama with the Niblodians and the big brains. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, you know what? As they say,
work a Futurama.
Bad artists plagiarize, good artists steal. And that is what I like about it. I like the idea of, and I just like the idea, because you can see, it's like if you're a very long-time comics nerd, you can see, I can see how they're building it, I can see where the stretches are going, I can see how the reset comes at the end of it, but that's okay, because I'm enjoying the story, and I actually really liked King in Black, so... and plus, 2 thumbs up for me.
And and to be fair to both of them, I think, it was issue 1 for both of them. It was week 1 for both of them. I think, I'm waiting to see what comes in week 2 and week 3. If somebody throws me a curveball, I'll be like, okay, I see what you're doing.
I have no idea what's going on with Endless Winter, so.
Basically, somebody hijacks Superman's Fortress of Solitude tech.
Okay. Was it Lex Luthor or
I'm just going to threaten to say Smallville might have done it better.
Here's what I'm going to say. It's like, okay, so if Gus Gorman or Lex Luthor hijacked Fortress of Solitude tech, I might be interested.
Yes, but it's like a god figure. It's like the Frost King.
Yeah, no Lex Luthor. It seems
no.
Okay.
Unless that clone body really got out of control. That's all I'll say.
Although I was pleased to see Ron Mars and Howard Porter's names on this.
It's definitely old school. I'm not a huge Howard Porter fan. Art style, again, just like subjectively. So I think that's kind of what took me out of it. I'm like, not my thing.
Oh, you might be the one to ask this. Is it true? Is Mark Waid coming back to DC in next year?
I don't know if anything's been confirmed. I've heard like rumors here and there, but no confirmations. I know he's like the editor-in-chief at that Humanoids publisher, so I'm sure he has his hands full with that.
But yeah,
are Norse gods even a thing in the DC universe?
Norse
gods? Take that, Loki!
I don't think
you're trying to get some Loki money.
I don't think he ever said.
Sure
I don't think he ever said Norse, but yeah.
We all see it.
Didn't I say Norse? I don't know. Well, okay. I'm sorry. It's just ice god from the Mediterranean. So it's the ice god of the. Is it Gitchy Manitou? Are we doing Northern Canadian gods now? And I don't mean to be rude to anyone who's going to say, Gitchy Manitou wasn't a Northern Canadian god. He was actually a Eastern American god, not And I do understand that, and but please work with me on this, people. It used to be colder in the Northeast than it is now.
Are you sure?
Aquaman is not a god. He's not the child of Poseidon. Well, no, his
That
father.
we know
Sorry,
of. Just
Tristan
wait
is
for
over here. We'll get to that in a minute. No.
Imperious Rex.
All I'm saying is that DC tends to be very Mediterranean with their gods, and Marvel got, locked in on those Norse gods because obviously DC had already claimed the Mediterranean gods. And so, unless this is Perun, when we're getting into the Slavic gods,
Marvel has Perun.
Marvel has Perun. Marvel also has, I forget his name, but he's the guy at the end of Night on Bald Mountain in Fantasia. He's in the Marvel Universe. They locked up their synergies right away.
It was all super connected and we didn't see it coming. I got you.
Yeah, so I'm just saying. I mean, whoever this ice god is, we'll see where it goes next.
Oh, but hey, Lilith, you said you did read Miles Morales?
Of course.
Remember we were saying, when are we get to the end of this story? Well, we got the end of the story.
I know. I was just
Ultimatum
kidding.
is the Miles Morales from the 616, correct?
Yes, and he was trying to send Miles Morales back to his original Ultimate Universe.
Okay.
We're all trying to get back there, to be honest. Damn you.
What's weird about that is, isn't there probably... First off, here's what I'm going to say, is Miles Morales isn't that unique of a name. And so...
No, but I think they are literally the doubles from, yeah.
But are they? Because they don't look that much alike.
Well, the other one's older. The Ultimatum's older.
He's older. I'm just going to say they don't look that much alike. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Well, he got scarred up, too, I believe. Was it a prison fight, Lilith?
Yeah. And I'm just going to say that it just seems like...
It's a plot twist down the line, but I'm taking it at face value now.
When the 616 Miles goes back to the Miles Morales universe of the Ultimate Universe, there's going to be a Miles Morales there. That's my point. Is Miles Morales was in this universe because it was created, but when you go to the Ultimate Universe now, it's going to be Miles Morales just the Spider-Man there too.
I don't know. They were kind of hinting around in this arc that no, this was the one from the Ultimate Universe that kind of got brought over.
I don't buy it because
he gave the Molecule Man
as we learned from
he gave the Molecule Man a cheeseburger. Remember,
as we learned from Fantastic Four,
blame Franklin
when the Beyonder sent Doom back to his own timeline, that pulled a new Doom into this timeline. As soon as that Miles Morales came into this universe, recreated, then when Franklin eventually got around to creating the other universe,
Universal Music Chairs,
a new Miles Morales was created into that universe because the void had to be filled. That's all I'm saying.
Not everybody has a Marvel handbook at the ready, Charlie, so...
His is out of date.
So on that
if it's from the 80s, I know it. That's all I can say.
I was going to say, anyone have any other books, or should we let Kat go rate her 6
let
books?
Kat go back to her life and her family. And
get back to work!
Her 6
get
books.
Back to work on that
Back to
Kickstarter.
work is probably it. Yeah, back to work is the right way. Only, again, 4 more days, whatever it is, till Wednesday, so then I'll sleep for a month.
Kickstarters are a lot of work, keeping up with the tweeting and just the social media posts in general.
Oh, yeah. It's always a lot. I'll be happy to go back to regular work. It's just doing regular work and a Kickstarter. It's whoa. Marathon.
So, Kat, do you have any social media you would like to post for us?
Yeah, sure.
Shout out for us?
Sure. Go check out at Comic Uno, pretty much everywhere, and Twitter I'm most active on. My YouTube channel, search Comic Uno, you'll find me. It's under Hate and Clear Heroes. And the Kickstarter, again, until Wednesday. Hopefully you guys can check it out. If you back it up for as low as $1, you're getting 20 indie comics digitally. And that's from Jupiter Jet to Spencer and Locke. So there's a lot of great books in there.
And yes, I will put a link to your Twitter and for the Kickstarter in the show notes. So,
thank you.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Again, now we know how much work you're doing. So to take your time out to talk to us, it means a lot. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you. I had a good time.
We're going to do ads now.
Cool. So I will see you guys all, and thanks for having me.
Yes,
thank you for being here. We really appreciated it. I hope you enjoyed the show.
Any open door. If you weren't scared, if you want to come back anytime, just let me know.
Of course, please. Next Kickstarter or another time, I'd love to talk comics with
definitely.
You. Please do, and tell your friends.
I will, for sure. I would tell Will, but...
But he knows.
We already got that nerd.
Yeah, you already got Will.
Oh, yeah, I talk to Will on a weekly basis, yeah.
But feel free to tell him it wasn't that bad. You should come back.
I'm going to talk to him tonight, so I'm excited. That'd be great. All right, guys. I think I'm going to exit out, right?
Yes, good night. You can go.
Bye.
Thank you.
We release you.
Oh
my God, Charlie.
I just want that poor girl sitting here waiting for you to finish, and
I know. They'll make her
get out.
I know.
Get out when you can.
This is your last shot.
I know.
Most of you are smart enough to leave early and say, "I have a thing to do.
I know.
I have to go to the bathroom."
Don't make her sit
Phil
here.
just makes it go longer.
Don't make her sit there while I ramble on, please.
So what about those headphones, Philip?
Hey!
Those are fantastic headphones.
Those are.
I have to admit, you went to a specific site to get those.
Those are the best headphones in the world, but damn it, we talked about Capes and Lunatics first. So anyway, if you have a Kickstarter, or if you just want to talk comics, email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can follow us on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can find links to the YouTube channel. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can watch this video. Links to merch. Links to the Patreon. Stay tuned for that. Links to everything all in one place. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics. And remember to support our sponsors. What?
Capes and Lunatics After Dark.
Yes. Stay tuned for the Patreon.
You have to do the breathy voice. I mean, Will doesn't do it as well as I do, obviously, but After Dark.
Oh my God. Is that logo going to be a topless Charlie Esser?
If you ask nicely.
I'll send the beer.
As long as it's intrinsic to the plot. No, send him that Gwenpool.
I will shave for that.
Oh! Send him that Gwenpool outfit.
Not
anyway.
the satch, though.
All right, enough. But, yes, anyway, everyone. Did you love the interview? You would have loved it more if you would have got yourself some Tweaked Audio headphones. That's right. So, go get yourself some Tweaked Audio headphones. And also, in your free time, go play Hunt-A-Killer because...
Michelle Gray needs your help, and you should stay home so Lulu can get to the bar by St. Patty's Day. I will hunt you all down.
You know the best part, Philip?
What, Charles?
You can use the coupon code Southgate Media, Southgate. The coupon code Southgate at either site, either tweakedaudio.com
it's like free money.
or hunterkiller.com, and get a discount on the thing you're buying. So do that.
That's right. And for those of you who know how to read, go pick up Pod Life the book, Volume 1, now in digital and paperback. Audiobook is coming. Don't listen to Charlie Esser.
Hurry up, Rob!
I think he just needs to get everybody to read their chapters is the problem. But yes, audiobook is coming, and Volume 2 is coming eventually, so go pick that up. And you know where you can get that? Amazon. And when you're on Amazon, and it's the holiday season, so you know you're doing a bunch of shopping, use the link for Southgate Media Group right down there in the show notes.
And don't forget our gift guide.
Oh, that's right. The gift guides are out. So if you're looking for ideas of what to buy on Amazon, go check out, I think pretty much almost every show on the Southgate Media Group has that gift guide, but we definitely have ones for Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks. But use the link on Amazon when you go on Amazon because, it doesn't affect you at all, but it helps us, help support this show, Southgate Media Group Network, and that head honcho, the big cheese, Rob Master Doom Southgate.
Make it rain, so says Master Doom. Nice mustache, Charlie.
Lilith Hellfire.
We're doing me now?
He always says me last, so you do your bit. I got a whole other 10 minutes.
How are we going to go to the Charlie Esser thing, and then you're just like, yeah, anyway, you can, 69.
Exactly. If you nerds want to hang out with me on the interwebs, DC TV is coming back on the CW pretty soon. So follow me on Twitter at Lil Hellfire as I live tweet hate. And if you just want to hang out with me on Instagram and see smoothies and puppies, Lil Hellfire 86. And for the memes, Lil Hellfire 69, both on Instagram and TikTok. Not in the face.
Charlie Esser.
Right in the face with that sack.
By the way, I just want to say, Rob, if you're having difficulties getting people to record their pieces for Podlife, the book, the audio book, please feel free to reach out to me and then threaten them, saying, if you do not record your piece, Charlie Esser will record it.
I got a crazy rogue mustache on the payroll.
He will do it. He'll do anything. You'll say anything.
He'll work for scale.
He'll work for a 6-pack.
I'll work
That's
for...
pretty much scale at this point.
Nothing at this point. I did all this for nothing. Why would I ask for money now? Oh, anyway, hey kids, if you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way our mothers and fathers once did, do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. Of course, follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet when I remember, because I keep on forgetting, and because of my failure,
and
this is the last time we will ever say this. We will live tweet DuckTales, a woohoo. On Monday nights at 7 p.m. at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieSesser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality.
Bing.
Thank you, Maz.
All right.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to Kat, and most of all, for putting up.
Bill, you gotta quit bringing Kickstarter people on. I'm losing money here, man.
I know. That's what I'm probably gonna be doing before I go to bed, is buying supporting some Kickstarters. But that's a good deal, because I've read Will's Diary of Night. That is good. So I know Crossover Division is coming. Good. Damn it! Not gonna buy all these. Anyway, for another week, we have been your capes
Ampersand
Lunatics.
So next week we'll have a regular show, followed up by our holiday special, and then to end the year will be our Austin Powers review we did with our friends.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
We're not there yet.
Everybody wants to fast forward. It's fine.
That's true.
Get the frick out of 2020. Jumanji!